Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth's Scenes and Scents. Welcome back to my channel. Please do not forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I'm Liz Quinn, your lead Scentsy consultant. So today I have for you my bi-monthly Scentsy Club. This is the January shipment of this bi-monthly club that I typically skip at the end of the summer so that I don't get it on the same month as my quarterly. So first, before I even get into this, why should you have a Scentsy Club? And being that next month, February, is going to be a month of transition for our catalog in many different ways. And by March 1st, we will be on to the new spring and summer catalog, the new merchandise, the new ways of thinking about how Scentsy, even as a company, is going to be moving forward. It is important and imperative that you are able to have a Scentsy Club to save your bars and then to be able to have disposable products, things that are consumable and not something like a warmer, which you're not going to use up unless you break it. And obviously you wouldn't want that coming to you on a monthly schedule, the same warmer over and over or anything. Everything that you put in your club makes it easier for you to get those consumable products, and specifically with the bars, it allows you to save them forever. It's a promise that Scentsy makes to you unless they lose a license, which I saw them not renew a license with Jelly Belly one time. But anyway, it is a fantastic program. The actual signing up is free. You just need to log in, have an email and a password, and then be able to enjoy that club for as long as you want to carry it. Mine are probably going on, 5 or 6 years now carrying a Scentsy Club, and it's fantastic. So, first thing that's in my club, and I just like to pick these randomly, is Crumb Top. And this is a Bring Back My Bar. Now, there are a few things in this specific shipment that may not stay in this frequency. I may move them before the end of the month when I'd have to lock them down into either a quarterly or take them out completely. But I knew that I wanted Crumb Top, just more of it for right now. And then my bi-monthly was coming this month, and I won't get a quarterly again until April. So that's why this was in here. I think in the long run, this is going to be in my quarterly. So it is just a wonderful golden brown, delicious streusel smell. It's not as deep as Oats and Honey, which is also in this club, because that one has more of a roasty, toasty quality. This one is just sweet and buttery. Doesn't last a super long time, and honestly, as I'm evaluating all of the Bring Back My Bars that we are currently working with, I don't know if this one will stay in my club for 2 or 3 years. Oats and Honey's staying, but I want to use it for a few months, see what these bars from Bring Back My Bar are like all through the course of at least 6 months to a year before I decide whether I want to keep them for good or not. Because some things are better in the summer, some things are better in the winter, and some things are good all the time, which is what I think this one's going to be. Right, next I have the beautiful World Traveler. Oh, is this bar good? Now this is for me as a person who likes woody, and I like things that are masculine but not too cologne-y masculine. So this is all of that. So it's got dark berries, it's got oak, it's got this just wonderful, very sophisticated quality without having any like bergamot or cologne type notes that make it smell like some guy was just spritzing himself and maybe had a middle school lapse of too much cologne. Anyway, this is fantastic, and I love it. I call it my old world library smell. Next, I have the amazing Autumn Stroll. This is the newest Bring Back My Bar, absolute head over heels love for me. In this same group, we have, I don't know if it's in here or if it's in my quarterly. We also have Autumn Blaze Maple. That's another one of my favorites. I think, though, that's in my quarterly club because that's a fall bar. I'm not going to burn through tons of it. This is also a fall bar, but this is one I could see myself melting on a rainy day in the summer. It's amazing in my bedroom. Oh, is this good, you guys? And it's sort of like the complement to World Traveler, where World Traveler is cool and deep and rich. This is warm and deep and rich and smoldery. Oh, so it's got incense, and it's got dusky plum, and it's got some cinnamon, and it has crunchy fall leaves. It's a medium throw, and it's, oh, is it good? It's so good. So this is a new favorite. I put it in my bi-monthly so I'd have more than enough. If I was having common sense, I should probably put it in my quarterly, but I just want an overflow of this bar. All right. Another one that I have in here is Pink Sunshine. Now, this one I already pulled out. The reason that I put it in my club is I like this better than the other two that are in the Valentine's Day trio. And this is the only one where for the long haul I want 2 or 3 extras. Oh, is this nice? There's another bar in this particular club shipment that I threw in to pair with this to melt during February. This is a romantic floral fruity scent. So it's got a little bit of rose, a lot of, it's supposed to be, I think, pear and plum. To me, it reads very apple, and I will tell you which other bar I'm going to pair with that, where I think they're so similar, very complimentary, very beautiful, will be great for February. Here is Vanilla Bourbon. Now, this is not a bar I keep at the club for me. My younger daughter loves it, and her room is tiny. So the fact that this isn't a great performer doesn't bother her one bit. It's vanilla and it's bourbon. It's warm and rich and it's beautiful, but I can barely smell it in most of the spaces in my house. Over the summer, some of these bars were excellent that came from the Father's Day collection, but overall performance has still been lacking for me in this. I tried just today to talk her into taking it out. No, it's got to stay. So that's Vanilla Bourbon. Fabulous smell, not very good throat. All right, this is another one where I'm not keeping it for good. This is Graham Cracker Crunch. Amazing bar. I doubt that this will carry over to the spring-summer catalog, but I wish that it would. To me, this is an all-year-round, beautiful bakery scent. I'm not so in love with it that I would club it or cry if it doesn't come back next fall, but it's a good one. So it's got graham cracker, it's got vanilla, it's got a little bit of peanut butter, but not in a gross way at all. It's just rich and warm. I actually have that melting today. And alternate warmers with pumpkin cinnamon swirl. And it's just bakery wonderful goodness in the house. This is a great bar. So I wanted 2 or 3 of these to have to carry over the summer, hoping that this will come back next fall. Also really hoping, but probably not getting it, that this might even continue on to the spring-summer season, but we'll find out in a few days. All right, next one is Cozy Vanilla and Pumpkin, and I'm very glad that I clubbed this because I saw it in the flash sale a few days ago. So I don't think Scentsy intends to carry this one forward at all. I think that they are going to just get rid of their stock. I really like this. It's gentle. It's got some pumpkin. It's primarily a very low-level spice scent with the vanilla and the pumpkin. It is super cozy. And honestly, today, before I got to filming, my kids got into this. And normally my older daughter, who is now a sophisticated 18 and very opinionated, she likes blue bars and green bars. She likes clean. She likes tailored. She likes like really simple and sharp smells. She doesn't like any of Mama's fruit bakery and all that. I wish you could have heard the things that she was saying about these bars. So she got to this one and she said, well, you know, on cold it's not so bad, but I bet when it warmed up it would get that like cozy, yucky feeling. So she does not like cozy. How is she, my child? Anyway, it was funny. So another one here is a bar of caramel chestnut. I do have probably too many bricks. I bought them at the end of the season just as a kind of on a whim. I've got so much of this particular smell, but I don't dare take this out of my club because in a few years when I burn through all those bricks, because I went through, 2 in the last fall-winter season, and I can melt a lot of wax when I feel like it. Anyway, caramel chestnut is one of my favorite things that was produced last fall-winter, and the brick was able to be then shrunk down into a bar and put in club if you wanted to keep it for forever and forever. This is an even balance of lots of chestnut and a good amount of rich caramel. It is more woodsy, I think, the longer that it sits and cures, but it's just, oh, it's so good, you guys. Roasty, toasty deliciousness with that sweet, deep caramel. Amazing. So really, you can't have too much of a good thing, right? So, all right, the next one is my favorite bar of all time, good old Cozy Fireside. And so when she picked this out of the box, I said, no, don't you dare say a bad thing, a single bad thing about my favorite bar. She still did, but I don't remember what it was. It wasn't too insulting. Like, we were having one of those almost like contests about how much stuff she could say about the bar that was bordering on mean, just to pick on me. So she couldn't find much to say about this. All right. The next one is Saint Nickerdoodle, and I love this bar. It smells like an apple strudel with powdered sugar all over it. It is so delicious, and I will probably melt this all year round. And it's amazing, paired with apple butter frosting and alternate warmers. Like, you have just died and gone to bakery heaven in the house all day. Oh, it's so good. So, even though this is a Christmas-themed scent, I really don't think that if you took away the Saint Nickerdoodle moniker, if people had never smelled it before, I don't think they directly associate it with Christmas. It's just great bakery. Okay, next one is Toffee Butter Crunch. And as I am looking at my club and agonizing over what am I going to take out, Between my bi-monthly and my quarterly, I have more caramel scents that repeat than probably anything else, which is kind of strange that's not normally me. But Toffee Butter Crunch is definitely staying. It's one that I missed a lot when I couldn't get my hands on it for several years, so it would be very unwise of me to kick it out of my club. So it's down to the caramel buttercream, the gingerbread buttercream, the caramel vanilla delight bars like that. Somebody's got to leave. And it's probably going to be the buttercream bars because my younger daughter, I was partly saving those for her. She doesn't really care to keep either of them in there, and that's in my quarterly, so those are probably going to get the boot. Now, the next one is, and as I'm yapping about that, what's in Toffee Butter Crunch? Toffee Butter Crunch is rich, deep toffee, caramel, and walnuts. And it is a really strong, thick caramel toffee scent. It is super rich. And if I'm going to want caramel, I don't want to sort of think I'm getting caramel. I want to be overloaded with caramel and toffee, and that's what this does. And because it's got the walnuts, it has a little bit of depth, because sometimes caramel scents struggle for me to stay in the air. They just kind of die. That one does a fabulous job. It's great. Okay, next one is Southern Evening. Now, this is another one which might get the boot. Not because I don't love it, but I only melt this probably spring, summer-ish, and only when I'm in the mood. It's a craveable mood bar for me, for sure. But man, is it good. It is right in between feminine and masculine, and my daughter was, trying to poke fun at it, but it made sense. It really smells like a man's cologne, which is true. And many bars from the Yankee Candle Company, and the way she put it was, I'll get those, and then this is back in the day when we used to burn candles or melt a lot of tarts in her room, Yankee tarts, before I got super hooked onto this. You bring those home and I think they'd be good, and then you put them in the warmer and they're yucky. So anyway, I don't feel like that about Southern Evening, but she was being a stinker. So this is a great bar. This bar goes for 2 or 3 days for me and changes as far as what you actually smell out of the wax mix over those 2 to 3 days. So that is one reason why I have kept it for a year, and I really, really like it. So we'll see if it makes the cut or not. Tiara and Coconut. Now, I love this, and my older daughter, not paying a ton of attention to Mama's Club, didn't realize this was in there, and she got all excited when she smelled it. So I'm glad that I put it in the bi-monthly and not the quarterly, because it looks like my kids are going to have their paws on this thing, especially her, because we're the 2 of us love Lush Gardenia, my older one and I. This is so good if you do love Lush Gardenia, which also showed up in the flash sale. That's in my quarterly club as a just in case, but oh man, Lush Gardenia being gone out of the catalog will feel so weird if that's a harbinger. I don't know if it is. We'll know in a few days. There's another one that I club that's in my bi-monthly here that if they got rid of that, thank God I put it in my bi-monthly, but that will be a shocker if they truly got rid of that, because it also showed up in the flash sale. Anyway, Tiara and Coconut, super sunny, super summery, super suntanny, lots of coconut, and this beautiful tiara flower. I loved this. It was one of the standouts of the spring-summer whole season for me. It's a very niche bar, though, so if you don't like Lush Gardenia, you're going to hate that. All right, the next one is Cranberry Muffin. Now, whatever the quality control issues were, these are now a beautiful sunny yellow on the back. My bar burned fine, even though the first one that I got was white with weird little speckles at the bottom, which I just thought was cute, and I thought that they were like little bits of spices. I guess that's not really what happened, and it was a quality control issue. Oh, okay. Now, the rest of you are probably going to boo me. I actually think that first bar that I got had much more intense cranberry smell. I hope that I didn't like the messed up version better than the fixed one. Anyway, this is really, really good. I'm going to melt it again. And it just has this fantastic bakery, cranberry, and muffin mix, and it brings me right back to the Thanksgiving cranberry loaves my mom used to bake. All right, another one in here is the beautiful Oats and Honey, which if I had to choose between Crumb Top and Oats and Honey, I'd keep Oats and Honey. And in the long run, I may. But for now, I want to evaluate both of them because they're enough different. Crumb Top's a lot closer to sugar cookie. This one's oats, and it's got that honey, and it's got that deeper golden brown delicious, and this stands up to fruit. I'm wondering if Crumb Top's actually going to get lost when I try to mix it with other fruit scents. We'll see over the summer. But that Oats and Honey's fabulous. Okay, and here is one of my mother-in-law's favorite smells, Butter Pecan. This is staying. It has been vetted over the course of a whole year, And I was so glad that I put it in when the spring summer catalog rolled around. And we didn't have either this or apple butter frosting, which is also in here on the roster. Oh, I'm so glad this is in my club. So it is roasty, toasty, beautiful butter pecans and an ice cream base, and it's addictive. It's fabulous in the fall with pumpkin stuff. All right, here is Simply Vanilla, which I'm very glad is in my bi-monthly. And now I'm really glad that I won't have to worry about not melting this because I kind of hoard it, because vanilla cream from the Bring Back My bar. If you have not tried that bar and you need a vanilla bar, either just a stack of it or in your rotation in a club, I highly recommend vanilla cream. It's a little bit more rich than the Simply Vanilla, but they're very similar. So this comes in my bi-monthly. The vanilla cream will come in my quarterly. I'll have enough vanilla to go around for all time. Oh, so good. So the Simply Vanilla is slightly more floral. You have to melt this bar to appreciate it. If you have a clam laying around and you've smelled it in the clamshell but never put it in your warmer, you are missing out. It is so good. All right, the next one is my second cranberry muffin. Let's see if this smells the same as the first one. Yeah, it's so good. But what's really funny, these are nowhere near as strong as that first bar that I got that was supposed to be a mistake. Okay, and then I have the lovely Vanilla Waves. Now here's my other thing. I've got another lighter, more summery caramel scent coming in this stack of bars in this club. If Vanilla Waves doesn't come back, which I don't know, I'm hoping this one comes back. I'd be shocked if they pulled this. Then I'm going to have to choose again between this one, which is probably going to win, and that other. Oh, it's so good. Summer caramel scent. So this one is a really rich vanilla with like a summer, almost like those chewy wrapped caramels plus sea salt and a little bit of fresh air almost. It's like it's almost there, almost not. And sometimes I almost even feel like this has a note of orange in it, which it doesn't. It's just that there's so much intensity in this, that sweet and syrupy and all that. It kind of almost reminds me a little bit of like orange blossom water, but that's just me. I've never heard anyone else say there's orange in Vanilla Waves. It's really good mixed 1 cube to 1 cube with something like an orange dreamsicle or a tangerine creamsicle, though. It's phenomenal. Here is my beautiful apple butter frosting. Never going anywhere. Have 2 of them in this bi-monthly. This Sweet Orange and Evergreen in my quarterly and Cozy Fireside in my quarterly. That's 2 bars coming to me in each club shipment, and I will not be decreasing those unless Sweet Orange and Evergreen comes back in the catalog next year, because I just need enough of those bars. So apple butter frosting, if I get 5 shipments a year, I get 10 bars. I barely have enough of this. I melt it so much. So that's another thing to think about. If you are looking forward toward either starting a club or managing your club, and you're putting bars in and you're just not sure where to put them or how many of them to put in, you can do a monthly, and some people actually do all 3, which I think is amazing. I don't carry a monthly club, but some people do a monthly club for smells that they just go through like water or other consumable items where, you know, maybe they want their washer whiffs to come to them every month. They don't want to have to think about ordering it out of the catalog, that kind of thing. Then you have your bi-monthly, which for me, most of these are bakery and sweet because I go through more spice bakery scents than anything else as far as like consistently all year. I have a few things in here where I knew I wanted to stock up for this summer, kind of front loaded, and then maybe I would pull them down the road. And then my quarterly is primarily smells that are very good, but they're more like craveable, and maybe I'm only going to reach for them a couple times a year. I should have put Southern Evening in my quarterly club, then I wouldn't even be thinking about taking it out. But now I have that bar, too many of a stack that I won't use a lot of the year, kind of taking up more room in my club than I want, and I'm probably going to end up kicking it out. And in 2 years, when I run out of Southern Evening, I'll be mad. This is just how this stuff goes. But so my quarterly club is for the cravables, like Flower Shop. I love it. My girls both absolutely love it. Again, older daughter quotable. This was so funny. She said, you know, this Flower Shop smell kind of smells like my parents' house. They love their little ozone plug-in fresheners. Like, it actually is supposed to clean the air. I'm not even sure if it does or if it's bad for you or whatever. But we're not talking about a freshener. We're talking about an actual little machine that's supposed to cleanse the air. And my older daughter says, this Flower Shop smell smells much better, but it reminds me of Grandma's little ozone plugins. So that made me laugh. And anyway, Flower Shop will be in the quarterly because I like it and both of the girls like it. So if all of us melt it, I'm probably only going to go through one bar a year. They're only going to go through one bar or half a bar a year, so that'll be plenty. But other things like apple butter frosting, one bar in a quarterly club would not do me any good. So then you have your seasonals, like 2 bars quarterly of Cozy Fireside. I just threw an extra in here so I'd have a stack going forward in case any other crises happen in my life with Cozy Fireside. I have 8 or 9 now. I'm good. And then I have singles of most things like Black Forest Pine. I have a single of, I think Stroopwafel Delight. I honestly wish Stroopwafel Delight was in my bi-monthly, but I started my quarterly much longer ago than my bi-monthly. So anyway, I'm rambling, but that's how I use it, and that's kind of how I assess. How many do I need in a year, and what do I want to keep where, and how many different clubs do I want to carry? French Toast. Here's another one. I love it. I'm not going to get rid of it, but I'm probably going to end up by next year having stockpiled more than I'm going through. And then you get into that crisis phase of, I've got 5 or 6 in a stack. It'll do me for another year or 2, but am I going to regret it in 2 years when I don't have any more? Oh, you guys, this is so good. What I love about French Toast is that it's different. The egg, the cinnamon, the maple syrup, and the powdered sugar, they have such a unique profile. And this is fantastic with maple vanilla glaze, which is in my quarterly, because that one's in my quarterly because there's a lot going on in that bar and you're not going to really melt it that much. But when I'm feeling like absolute maple breakfast overload, I do this and maple vanilla glaze in the house, and people probably 3 doors down can smell my fake breakfast stuff. All right, so then here's another one, Bora Bora Blossom. Neither of my girls love this as much as me. It's a bedroom scent. I put it in my bi-monthly, and now I'm getting a stack. But for me, until I know for sure that Mahalo Coconut is coming back, I don't want to get rid of this bar. They're not the same, but they fulfill for me that same profile of scent, where there's this amazing, lush, creamy, tropical, fruity thing going on. Oh, this is so pretty. This was, I think, a year ago, January, that this was available in Bring Back My Bar. It is by far one of my favorite tropical fruity scents. I don't tend to like the super fruit punch in your face tropicals all that much. I like them when they're a little bit more blended with lushness and creaminess, and that is the epitome of that. I love it. Now I'm talking myself into saving it. Okay, then we have Mandarin Moon. Now, to be totally shockingly honest, I'm kind of done with this bar. I have quite a few. I've enjoyed it very, very much. I think it's the best in its category. My younger daughter's like, oh no, that's not going anywhere, Mom. I love it. And I will keep melting this very happily. But for some reason, sometimes even though a bar up here, you want to love it, and I do, it doesn't make you as craveably happy down here that you keep reaching for it. I'll put it in the warmer. I love the scent profile, but I don't tend to want to melt it enough all the time. I don't know. Anyway, Mandarin Moon's fantastic. So it's got ginger and it's got spices, and it's just a fall spiced orange, the best one we've ever had. But without the intervention of the younger daughter, I might have given that the boot because I've got quite a bit. Now, here's one that will not be getting the boot, and that is Vitamin R. Oh, is this good? And as the children, they're teenagers, they're almost grown up. It's so sad. My babies are grown up. As my girls were digging through this box for fun right before I started to film, they got this out. And they said the sweetest thing. Because people that know me, if you know me personally, this is not something I say about myself, but this is what other people always say about me. They always say, you smell good. I love perfume, and I love spicy florientals. I love Shalimar. I love cocoa. Actually, I have an orange blossom perfume I wear in the summertime I don't remember the name of. And I'm out of Burberry Black, but those are kind of my thing. That's my type of perfume. And my kids were going through this box, and they, they're teenagers, unfiltered. They said, Mom, this bar smells like you. And I said, what do you mean? They said, well, it smells like you when you go to church on Sunday. So I guess all those other perfumes, and I like a vanilla bourbon from Target that was out in a mixable collection, and there's a wood elixir one. That's my kind of perfume. So that's what they were thinking of when they were smelling this. So I guess that's a great description of this bar, which is warm and rich and woody. And definitely it has a perfumey, not like a floral perfume. I do not do floral perfume. I love roses. They do not like me. But this, oh, the cashmere and the vanilla sugar and the amber and the bergamot. I love all this. So I guess that one smells like my soul, according to my kids. All right, now here is, oh, I'm so glad I clubbed this bar. This showed up in the flash sale, you guys. I'm so glad I clubbed this bar. I'm not much on fresh smells, but Atlantic Air is one of the best ever. And it's in my bi-monthly. So if Scentsy has done away with this, how could they get rid of Atlantic Air? Oh, we'll see in a few days. If this isn't back in the catalog, I got 4 in the flash sale, plus I've got 5 coming to me in a year. That'll be okay, because this is another bar. I probably should have put 2 in my bi-monthly. It's fresh sea salt, air, and orchid, and it is so amazing. So I hope this is back in the catalog in the spring. I think if it's not, it's going to cause a small riot. All right. Ooh, now here's the other one where to keep or not to keep. This is Caramel Vanilla Delight. It was one of the standouts for me from the last spring, summer, bring back my bar. It's so good. I probably will keep this one. But again, this is similar in some ways to Vanilla Waves. They're all kind of in the just different sliding scale. You've got Vanilla Waves is the most sweet. Then you've got this. Then I've got the gingerbread and the caramel buttercreams in the other club. And then I have toffee butter crunch. And then I have like Stroopwafel Delight. They're all very similar, and I love all of them. It's like I can't separate myself from one of my children, but somebody's gotta go. So I don't know whether this one's gonna stay or not, and it isn't because I don't like it. It'll probably come down to if Vanilla Waves got taken out of the catalog, I'll probably have to get rid of that because I can't club more than like a max number in my budget. And I am pushing the ceiling on those already, and I haven't even absorbed any of the fall winter bars that are gonna be leaving. So, okay, what's next? Ooh, good old Cocoa Lime. Now, Cocoa Lime, I haven't seen anywhere that any of its products have been offered up for any sort of sale. I hope that means it's coming back in the catalog because this is my favorite citrus scent that Scentsy makes. I love this. So it's lime, it's coconut, it's a little bit effervescent, has like a tiny hint of like lemon rind in the background. That's just me, it's not in the description. It's so good. But older daughter always having some way to be negative. This turns into Fruit Loops in her bedroom. I get that because for some reason her room smells totally different than the rest of the house. It's really weird. But I'm so glad that I had this in my club, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to take it out and it'll be in the catalog, but if not, I've got backups. And even though I love Cocoa Lime, I don't go through it like I do Atlantic Air, so 5 year will more than do me if that's a problem. Here's my second apple butter frosting, which, it just makes me happy. Okay, here is an apple press. Now this is the one. Let me get this. Of course, the other one's at the bottom of the stack. Hang on. Ah! Oops. It wouldn't be an Elizabeth Quinn video without some sort of landslide. So the Pink Sunshine and the apple press, honestly, if you have both of these, go grab them and sniff them. I feel like they're very similar. And I'm debating whether to just get a stack of apple press or put it in my, put it in my club. But it's a great compliment to Pink Sunshine. Very similar. Make a fantastic alternate warmers melt. Very romantic and fruity, which is why I decided to put both of these in so I would have them to melt next month. Okay, so that apple press is lots of apple, little tiny bit of pear, and a hint of rose. It's gorgeous. Best apple, like plain apple smell I think Scentsy's ever made. Lemon coconut chiffon. The best lemon custard cake smell ever. And my daughter was making fun of this one too. And I'm like, you just have no heart. This is one of the best bakery smells ever. Oh, so good. So good. Like a lemon bar. Lemon custard cake happiness. Okay, and then good old Buckleberry. I keep Buckleberry because I'm really picky about my berry smells. This is saturated and deep enough. Stands up to French toast beautifully. That makes the best alternate warmers melt. Oh, it's so good. So over time, as I've been able to expand my roster of bars, because I'm a collector, I've never heard anybody else that does YouTube videos really describe themselves that way. I think different people have very different thought processes on how you look at your bars. Some people want to manage their bars, curate it down to just the barest essentials of this is what I melt a lot of and this is all I want to have in my house, and if I want, one bar of something, I'll order it out of the catalog when I feel like it. Then there are people that are sort of in the middle, reasonable, sane people, and not that any group is not sane, but I feel like I'm way on the other end of the extreme, where you have your larger group of bars that you like, and you get an extra here or there, and maybe you have a couple bins, a couple extra tubs of things in reserve, right? And then there are those of us that are sort of on the addict end of the scale, and for me, I am a collector. I want one of everything, even if I only kind of sort of like it. Now, if I hate it, there are a few, like I'm not crying over not having another bar of feeling punchy, trust me, but I want at least a bar of anything where I could wake up in the morning and want one, or want to be able to pair it with something, because I love alternate warmer pairings of bars. That's one of my favorite things to do. It's almost like a hobby, even inside of having Scentsy bars. So I'm the person who, when I look at my club, or I look at a flash sale, or I look at anything, I'm like, what can I do with that? Almost like it's a tube of paint and you're painting a beautiful picture. Like, I don't want to have the burnt umber missing, or I don't want to have that particular green that I'm going to need to mix with the sienna, and it's just how my brain works. So I have a really, really hard time saying no and letting go, because I know I'm going to need that or want that in the future. So things like buckleberry and French toast, they're the best pairing. Another one that I love is Grandma's Orchard, which is in the flash sale, with cinnamon vanilla, which I hope comes back in the spring because I didn't club that. And just on and on and on like that. I have tubs and tubs of bars. Part of it's because I'm now a consultant too. And I love being able to go and dig around and find just that perfect thing to melt every morning according to my creative whims of things. And that's just how I am. Collections should represent the whole gamut of something. I'm also a collector of blankets and teapots and you name it. That's why you guys are always seeing different things here. I'm putting my huge collection, looks like home goods, on the other side of my basement. Y'all ask, where does the stuff go? There's this area in our basement that's insane, and my friends tease me that I have another home goods down there. Anyway, I am way digressing. Next one is Almond Croissant. This is a fantastic bakery bar. Oh, it's rich, and that one stands up all by itself. I don't even mix that with anything. The next one I've got is Love and Happiness, which this one I really, really like. But over time, if I get a stack, this is like chestnut and almost a cologne, warm, rich, powdery cologne note. I love this, but it's one that, kind of like Mandarin Moon, I enjoy for a while and then might be willing to let go of it down the road. Rum Raisin Cookie. This is just in from this Bring Back My Bar that's currently on. If you like anything oatmeal, bakery, raisin, spice, and you didn't try this, you've got to. This is staying in my club. I love it. And, all right, one more bar. Oops. Good old maple rum cake. This is another one that for me will be staying in for a long time. I've started calling this the vanilla oud of the bakery category. It's dark, deep, low rolling, rich, and sophisticated, and it's fabulous. So I love this. A lot of people didn't. You must melt it. It smelled awful in the clam. One of the few bars that I've ever come across. Smells really bad and cold. It's fabulous warm. So that is everything. Plus, I got a couple of blue bulbs for a local customer who is just such a sweetheart, and I'm giving them to her because she was disappointed in something, and I want to make sure that she's happy with her new blue bulbs, and a tub of Jammy Time washer whiffs. So this was my long ramble of my bi-monthly club. If you haven't started a club, please do. My website, which is Wafting Wonderful Wax, is always open, and if you have any questions, email me. You can find my email on my website, and I appreciate all of you. I hope you've had some fun with my little bi-monthly ramble here. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.